Alright, what's going on, everyone? So, there has been some controversy on Twitter. I know, completely shocking revelation. Controversy on Twitter. Who would have known? This time, the controversy is over Spotify. Because Spotify is removing Neil Young's work. For those of you who don't know who Neil Young is, he's a musician, and they're removing his work because he called out Joe Rogan for spreading misinformation about COVID-19. Well, first and foremost, it's been known that Joe Rogan is a conspiracy theorist. Now, I'm not here to criticize conspiracy theories or theorists. I mean, because what? Well, although I'm not sympathetic to conspiracy theorists, or at least those that conspire about things like the pandemic and the government using the vaccine to control us, yada yada yada. I am recognize that they have the First Amendment and they have the freedom of speech and they have the freedom to spread whatever they want to. Now, like I just said, I'm not sympathetic to it, so please don't go saying that I'm defending them for their stances. I'm not. I'm not. But remember, this is a private corporation. Like Spotify is not with the United States government, and they're paying big money to have Joe Rogan on their platform. Like, oh, and also not to mention they hardly pay the artists a dime. Like the artists make virtually no money from Spotify deals. And Spotify is paying Joe Rogan $100 million to have his podcast on Spotify. Yeah, so I mean, from a business perspective, if I have someone calling out one of my big name or one of the biggest names that I'm paying big money for, and it's possibly going to spark some controversy in the organization, I'm keeping the person who is paying that I'm paying the big bucks to it, and not the little guy that's making pennies on the dollar. It that's just not going to happen. So all this controversy comes after Neil Young and I almost said Neil Tyson. All this controversy comes after Neil Young said that he refuses to share the platform Spotify with the amount of misinformation that Joe Rogan spreads. Well, he doesn't want it, so he doesn't want to spread, or he doesn't want to be on the same platform. Excuse me, as someone like Joe Rogan or as Joe Rogan because of his conspiracy theories and misinformation, essentially. So, Spotify clearly decided to swiftly remove, they decided to remove Neil Young's work from their platform. And it sounds like they didn't initially want this to be the case. Because, well, they want anyone, or let's be honest, they want anybody who's going to be or who's going to bring subscriptions to them in. Like they're like YouTube, where they want just where they want anybody on there who is going to bring people in. And from that perspective, I don't think they actually wanted Neil Young to leave, or at least it wasn't their decision. And well, I mean, it was their decision, but it was Young's decision to say that he doesn't want to be on the same platform as Joe Rogan. So, like I said earlier in the video, you're gonna nix the small creator before you, or you're gonna nix the small guy who you're not paying that much before you nix the big guy that you're paying a ton for. That is just the way that it is, people. Now, do I think that Joe Rogan or the Joe Rogan Experience should be canceled by Spotify? I personally don't think so because, well, although Rogan does put out some questionable information from time to time, which, by the way, you should always fact check your information unless it's coming from like a government website or something, or like a college website. Anyways, you should always fact check the information that's being put out. Anyways, now I still don't think that Joe Rogan should be canceled, and I don't think Spotify should be canceled. And well, I've said before, I'm not a fan of cancel culture, and it most certainly applies to this case. And I say this because Joe Rogan has had some really, really good guests on his show with amazing stories, with amazing information. I mean, he's had Neil deGrasse Tyson on the show. And my favorite episode that I've listened to was when Joe had Daryl Davis on. For those of you who don't know who Daryl Davis is, he is a black guy. Or he is an African American man who is a musician who's most famous for attending KKK rallies, and not only that, but he befriends a bunch of Klansmen and Klanswomen, and even he's even befriended leaders for various states, and he gets them to quit. Anyways, so keep in mind, if you cancel a Joe Rogan, you'd also be canceling pieces of information and inspiration such as this. Like you'd be you would be removing his episode with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and you'd be removing his episode with Daryl Davis, and as well as a bunch of other people. So, all in all, should Rogan have said some of this misinformation? No, he should not be spreading misinformation. Should he be held accountable for his misinformation? Yeah, he should be held accountable, I think. Canceled? No. Not canceled. And as for Neil Young, I do hope that he and Spotify can get back on good terms, or that he can at least get a better deal somewhere else. Because Spotify does not treat the artists very well. They just don't. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share this video, share all my videos, as a matter of fact, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.